it still doesn't feel real.
I know, it's exciting. It's
Literally
exciting
in 2 months.
But you know what? We can always deal with that later on.
I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for like the next 2
I'm going to sleep like this.
Hello YouTube fam, welcome to our house. Okay, so if you are new here, hello, my name is Tina. I'm the owner of Studio Calm. I run this DIY channel, and this is our very first house that we moved in about 2 years ago. We've done every single room and basically have touched every inch of this house, and I think it's about time that we do a completed house tour. And we also have a big announcement at the end of the video. And this is actually the final tour. Okay, so some facts about the house. This was built in 1955. It is a ranch style. There are 3 bedrooms upstairs. There's 1 technically downstairs. 2.5 baths. It's about 1,500 square feet plus another 1,300 in the basement. So there's a lot to go through. And we actually bought this house right after quitting our corporate jobs in 2021. So this was our first house and it is a passion project of ours, and you guys have probably been following along and seeing every makeover. So we're gonna go through it all today. So of course we did a lot of DIYs around the house, and this is the first one that I'm going to point out. I'm gonna point them out as we go along. This was actually the first project that I did pocket holes on, and it also was so easy to make. So if you want to go back and watch and see how I did this, I will link all the videos for each of the rooms in the description box as well. But this recently got a new makeover. We did the trim the first time around, and it honestly elevates the house so much. We added this beautiful mirror for the aesthetics because I just wanted something a little bit different. And then we also made this shoe rack down here. It has made the room so much more functional because we have a small entryway. And I also redid this closet a couple of times. So before it was open, but then I realized that we live in Chicago and we need to store our coats somewhere, so I closed it back up. So in this tour, I'm showing you guys the reel. So right now it's a little bit messy because I store usually all of our returns down there, but I just put it in here. I absolutely love the closet. It is so much more functional. It houses all of our stuff. And when it looks messy like this, I can close the doors and it's gone. So making our way into the living room, you might notice that all of the common areas are bright and white because this house really does not get a lot of light. So even today, it's very gloomy out. So all of the common areas are painted atrium white by Benjamin Moore. And then I added in a lot of elements of like dark moody colors. So I love this deep brown. I also carried it into our curtains, which I think really elevates the space. Before we only had linen curtains, and now I don't know if I can go back to having light curtains because I feel like doing a darker curtain really lifts up the room. When we moved in, we had paper blinds, so this is definitely an upgrade. And then we also did this faux trim in the windows, which has held up great and is a great hack if you want to have that farmhousey look without paying thousands of dollars. So you're probably wondering why I said this is the final house tour, and that's just because we've made over these spaces a couple of times now. So this living room has gone through a couple of makeovers, this entryway, even this little nook over here that I'm about to show you. So I think it's time to move on to something new. I've learned so many valuable skills in doing all these makeovers, but I think it's time to go on to a new challenge. So this is a DIY that I made. That is also a DIY. This table is a DIY, and also this IKEA hack, which I still love so much. I'm proud of myself because I made this without any power tools. So this is definitely a prized possession. And over here, this was a huge DIY. I am so proud of this fireplace and how it turned out. We made a faux mantle. So if you look underneath, the original is still underneath here, but I was able to make this faux wood look. And I just think it elevates it so much. We did the overgrout look. Also, all these logs are just glued onto a piece of MDF. So this has been such a big hack that I did, and it just looks amazing. When we first moved in, this house definitely did not look like this at all, but I just saw so many possibilities, and I feel like I made that come to life, especially with that fireplace. I thought it was so ugly when we moved in. So to see where it is today, it just makes me so proud, and I'm so glad that we're able to show it all to you guys. Tell me that this house doesn't look way more expensive.
Please ignore the creaky floor.
Yeah, so if you follow me into here, this is where our bedrooms are. And also I want to talk about the hallway because I feel like it's an area that people often forget about. creaky floors. So this is an area where you can really make it feel more custom and a little bit more expensive. So we switched out a couple of the doors, we painted them, we added new handles, and then we also added a new light fixture as well as more picture frame molding up top and a ceiling medallion. And I just feel like this just looks so much more expensive. It makes a world of a difference and you can do it all in one weekend. Also, me and Brian were kind of debating on this. Can you tell that this was patched underneath? Because I think I did a good job, but Brian says otherwise. It doesn't look that bad. Anyways, let's make our way into the primary bedroom. I don't know if you could tell, but it is a lot cozier in here. There's less of an echo. And this is really where we like to wind down at nighttime. This room has also gone through a couple of makeovers. So if you remember, it used to be green and then we painted this brown, which I honestly thought was a mistake when we first did it, but now I just love it so much because it's so calming in here. The DIYs in here that we did included the shiplap walls, this art painting, the closet doors, as well as this tree, which whenever people come over, they are surprised that I made this. And it was so easy, so I love my little faux olive tree. I also DIY'd this frame, which also I wanted to update you guys on. So it does work without having to drill a hole in the middle for the sensor. So I will link the TV model in case you guys are interested in doing this project and want to make sure that the sensor actually works. This has to be one of my favorite DIYs because it looks like I have a frame TV, but really it's just a regular old flat screen TV. Also, what's funny is that I tagged Samsung on Instagram because this is a Samsung TV and they thought it was a Samsung TV frame or frame TV. So that's how good this DIY is. And I just knocked this over. Whoops.
Samsung, cut the check. Can
What?
we clear a myth real quick?
What's that?
I've had a couple people DM me asking, do we actually sleep with that many pillows?
No, we don't. We actually just throw them all on the floor. So it really is all for show. But it's worth it because it looks so pretty. This room actually took us a lot of time to get to because I really wanted to focus on the common areas. That's what our guests would be really seeing all the time. And I wish I didn't do that because after doing all those makeovers, we would come into this bedroom and it would be completely empty. We had a mattress on the floor and we used chairs as nightstands and it really just did not feel like home. And until we did this bedroom, it finally felt like the house was ours. So if you're making over a house as well, I would say don't wait on your bedroom, do it as one of the first projects and you will feel so much better at the end of the day after doing DIYs. Also, another word of advice, get yourself some smart light bulbs so that you never have to get out of bed to turn off your lights again because this has been an absolute game changer. So directly across from our bedroom is Brian's office slash gym. And you can tell that I definitely went a lot more masculine in here, which is something that I'm not used to, but luckily Brian really likes it. So we did wallpaper, pole wrap, and then we also painted the walls blue, which I didn't do a video on. It totally sets the mood in here and I love that it's just two walls and then we have two other accent walls, which is a little crazy, but I think it works.
If you want to work, work. If you want a treadmill, treadmill.
We also made a little gym setup in here, but we recently just put doors on it. And then we have these faux built-ins, which are from IKEA. And somehow these perfectly fit along this wall. And I did not have to add any extra trim. So that totally was meant to be. And I just love how this back wall looks because it looks so professional. This is sometimes where Brian sits to edit all the videos, but most of the time he's just sitting in the living room because he likes it so much better out there, even though I made this whole beautiful room for him.
Thank you.
One of our biggest goals when we bought this house was just to have a space to really make it our own, and I feel like we've really done that. We've experimented so much, we've made a lot of mistakes, and we definitely have learned from it. And the biggest part of it is just to show you guys that it's possible to do it yourself, because mostly we did everything ourselves. We never hired any contractors or anything to do the work, and we're just so proud of how far we've come. 2 years ago when we moved in, this was exactly where we wanted to be, and about 6 months ago we were deciding what we wanted to do with our lives, and we decided we want to continue experimenting and making more mistakes, so that is exactly what we're gonna do. Exciting things are coming. Once again, showing you guys the reel, if I can open this because the handles are not where they're supposed to be. Yeah, ow. It's a little messy. Here's Brian's goals. Which, by the way, he won his powerlifting meet recently, so put all of the good vibes in the comments for Brian because he deserves it.
My back hurts.
Okay, I feel like a proud mom right now, but look at the medals he got, you guys. Best lifter. Good job, honey. Before we move on, I need to thank Daily Harvest for sponsoring today's video and also for being a complete time saver. I literally always have them stocked in my fridge, and I especially love their smoothies, especially in the morning time. They have in-house chefs and they take sustainably sourced fruits and vegetables and turn it into ready-to-make meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks, and it gets delivered straight to your door. We just have been so busy lately, so Daily Harvest makes it so easy to have a quick and balanced meal in just a couple of minutes. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, but most mornings for us are pretty chaotic, especially since we're trying to get videos and projects done. Some mornings I just cannot be bothered to make breakfast, so I've been skipping them lately, which is obviously terrible. We all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's also one of my favorite meals of the day. So to break that bad habit, I've been making their smoothies almost every morning and also their forager bowls. This one is one of my new favorites. It's their banana and green smoothie, and you can see all the ingredients right on the back side. They list everything out for you, and that is it, so you don't have to think about what ingredients you want to put into your smoothie. You just fill this up with the milk of your choice, so I usually use almond milk. There's a little line on here. Then you just pop it into your blender, and ta-da! You have a healthy breakfast in just minutes. I also love these forager bowls because you can eat them hot or cold. This one is the mulberry and dragon fruit one, which has oats, blueberries, raspberries, and dragon fruit, which is honestly my favorite combo of fruits. The instructions are super easy to follow, and I just love that they have all the nutrition info on the back for you. So those are two of my current favorites. These are an absolute must in my freezer, and if you want to try out Daily Harvest for yourself, you can use my link below and that'll get you $65 off of your first box, which is amazing. So make sure to check it out, and let's go back into the video. The last room in this area is our bathroom, which I have a few updates for you guys. So the vanity still looks pretty good. I did a faux wood paint look. There is a little bit of chipping right here because I open this drawer every single day, but other than that, it's pretty good. As well as the contact paper, this has also held up really well. There is a little bit of lifting like underneath the sink, which I won't show you because it looks disgusting, but my suggestion there would be to caulk it so that water wouldn't get into it. So definitely this is a great hack, and every time people come over, they cannot believe that this is contact paper. We also did a faux lime wash look in here, so I used 3 different paint colors and it gave us this beautiful texture, which I'm still in love with. It was a lot of work to do, but it was so worth it, and I'm glad that sponge painting has come back into style because it totally gives this area a lot of depth. Depth. I can never say that word. Depth. Anyways, I also wanted to show you guys the wallpaper that I did over the tiles. So you look in our bathroom, we had this gray tile all around, but I just don't like this tile. So I wanted to cover it up on this wall at least. It's held up great, even though there's a lot of moisture in here. So wallpaper over tile is an A+ in my book. We also updated this recently, which is so fancy, and we did it ourselves. Oh no, why is it not going now? Much better. Also, who remembers the shaky toilet? And then this toilet also has to be replaced because when you sit on it, it actually moves around because we installed this toilet all ourselves. It is a Toto, which I got to work with them on a campaign, and it is a bidet. It has a remote, and you can have nice warm water on your bottom, and you can also make the seat warm. So I love this thing so much. Okay, so this house is kind of a weird layout, but this is our little dining area. We did board and batten, which honestly really designates the space. This dining room isn't really a room, so I wanted to make it feel more purposeful. So adding wall treatment again really does make a difference. Again, I made this It took me a very long time, but I'm very proud of it. This dining table can actually expand to fit 12 or more people. So for Christmas, we host people here. And basically the table goes all the way into the kitchen. We make it work, and I just love our little dining area. Like I said, Brian usually sits right here and he edits all the videos because he likes to be out in the open versus in the office. So off of the dining room is the DIY room, which honestly, it's raining, so it looks kind of not cute in here, but I'll insert some clips on when it feels very nice and magical. This is where I go to plan all my videos. I also do DIYs in here. I sit here on my laptop, write all the voiceovers, plan my day. I also just got a Kindle, which I'm excited about. Some things I DIY'd in here were all of these art pieces, this Urban Outfitters dupe, this IKEA hack. This little corner is a little bit messy, but the house came with this weird closet thingy. I've made it into a little supply area, so all my supplies are here. I have random faux trees and leaves and stuff like that. I really wanted to demo this, but it kind of grew on me and we just never got around to it. Next, we're gonna go into the room that almost made me cry, which is the powder room, which now it is this beautiful, moody little powder room. There were a lot of firsts in this tiny little powder room. So for example, this floor was the first time I ever tiled anything. It was seriously such a scary moment for us to demo the tiles, take out the subfloor, and then honestly we were freaking out on what to do because this was our first time doing any of that. At one point I wanted to quit, but I'm glad that I didn't because this just turned out so beautiful. It definitely was a labor of love, and I think this might be one of my favorite makeovers ever. This was the first toilet we ever installed. That was our first time, and honestly I had no idea it was gonna smell that bad once we took out the old one. Like, that was not a fun experience, but also kind of fun because looking back at it, I can laugh at the situation. Right here we have a beautiful Studio Calm print, which I made with a thrifted frame, which is also a medicine cabinet. So this was something that was added later on. When I first did this room, it was a mauve pink color and it was white on top because I was honestly too scared to go moody, which was the first thing that I actually wanted to do in here. The second time around, I was a lot more brave, so I went with this beautiful dark green. And also this wallpaper is just so special to me because I feel like at this point I really wanted to embrace my Asian heritage and include something that was really Asian inspired. So I love these cranes, I love all the details, there's little gold accents in here, and yeah, it just makes me happy whenever I come in here. Also, oh my god you guys, I forgot to update you on the makeover when I did it. I finally fixed this little thing that has been broken for over a year, so it is done. Before I show you the kitchen, I have to show you guys the pantry, which honestly makes me smile every time I look at it because it has stayed pretty organized. We have a couple of things because we were on a road trip recently, but this has honestly made such a difference in our lives, especially just wanting to cook every day. These little turntables and all the organization that we did in here has seriously made such a difference, so I cannot recommend these little shelf risers enough. Okay, so making our way into the kitchen. This, I believe, is the first thing that we made over when we moved in. So my big plan was to completely renovate everything, knock out all the cabinets and all that, but we ended up just keeping it. We painted everything, so this is a dual tone. We have this beautiful muted sage color on the bottom and then white on the uppers. I think it just opens up the space a lot. And most recently we did the backsplash ourselves, so no more peel and stick tiles. This was our first time working with a tile saw, and I also used Muscle Bound, which is an adhesive instead of using mortar. And although it seems easier, it actually was a little bit more difficult than I thought, but I still am so proud that we did this, and it just looks so much better and really elevates our otherwise kind of outdated kitchen prior. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then we also made this little thing in just 2 days. I made this little bench shoe rack situation, which is inspired by a much more expensive piece. Something that we really lack in this house is storage, so I wanted to build a lot more of that. And this is basically a sliding bench top, but we also can just lift it up, grab all the things inside, and then put it back, and no one will know.
She really can't do anything.
Oh, stop. Stop. We also made over this little wall, which really goes to show that you can maximize. And wait, this is broken. Exposed. This really just shows that you can maximize any area in your home. So behind me is our garage. So right here is the perfect place to put all of your jackets and things, leave shoes, check yourself out in the mirror, and you're good to go. So this staircase is actually one of the last areas that we worked on, and I basically filled it up with all of the art prints that I had left over. We did wallpaper on the stairs, painted the railing, and it just looks so much better. As you can probably tell, these are really creaky, but we didn't want to replace them, so we just added the wallpaper, and it honestly makes it look so much more luxurious. Welcome to our basement. We just had a party, so I have this table right here, but if you pan over here, we have a bar setup that we put in ourselves. This was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be because I built a floating shelf for the first time. We also went with this bold blue color, which I was totally scared of when we first did it, but I think it turned out really good. My only regret is that we didn't also paint the ceiling the same blue, and that's just because I was a little bit too scared to go that bold, but I think it definitely would have made it even more vibey down here. So my vision for this space was to really make it an entertaining area. So we have a bar here, we have a little lounge, and then we have our blue velvet curtain to make this a little entertaining center. So we have a huge couch, and honestly we don't hang out down here as much as we want to, but we've had guests over, we've had family over, we've even done Christmas down here. This is such a great entertaining space, and it also basically doubles our house size. So if you look over here, it looks a little bit small, but if you go behind this curtain, we have my workshop. Welcome to my workshop. I never would have thought that I would have my own workshop area. I started using power tools a little over 2 years ago now, so I never would have imagined that we would have a space to work on so many projects for the house. This workbench was a thrift flip. These are an IKEA hack. I built these shelves as well as this bulletin board and this cabinet. Basically, we finished this at the end of last year, and it's just been so helpful to have a space where I can actually put in all of my creativity and make stuff in my house. I also made this whiteboard, and then IKEA hacked this little thing. There's also a mural over there, and we also built storage, which was a huge thing because when I was working on this house, there really was not a lot of storage, especially for all of my materials. This has been so handy because it keeps all of my scrap materials on it, and having this workshop has made me really appreciate having a space like this because we've been working at my parents' house and I've been working out of the garage, and it honestly is chaos over there. So coming back into this space makes me feel really good that I have my own space to make all these projects happen. I'm just so proud of all the projects that we've done in here. We've done some really big projects like thrift flips and challenges, and also so many projects that we've done for makeovers, and I've even learned how to build things from scratch in this room. So I've just learned so much from having a workshop. When we moved into this house, I knew that I wanted to build my dream workshop, so I feel like we've done that. And after having this space, I've learned that you really can make magic anywhere. Originally, I wanted to build the workshop in the garage, but that didn't happen. So I think for the next workshop that I want to work on, we're gonna make that happen. Okay, Brian had to take care of something, so I'm going to do the rest of the tour solo, but I'm going to take you guys into the last few rooms in the basement. So we have the laundry room, which is right behind me. I wanted to tie this in with the blue in the main area, so we painted this a beautiful powder blue, which is totally something that's different for me. This is a really tricky color to get on camera, so back here it looks really gray, and then right here you can tell that it's totally a bluish purpley color on camera, but in real life, it's more of like a cornflower blue. This house really taught me to be fearless with my color choices, so I feel like we have a ton of variety in all the colors that I have going on. And speaking with fear, there's actually a very scary crawl space that we covered up right back there. I made Brian go in there and check it out, but if you missed out on that makeover, make sure to go back and watch it. I made this DIY barn door that covers up our boiler, and I also added a lot more storage, so we made this whole cabinet back here as well as this folding station. The space kind of feels a little bit unfinished because we still have that ugly sink that I hate, but I did not want to spend any more money in here because I feel like we've done a lot already and I'm pretty happy with it. Moving on over here, we have a little memory wall, which is a chalkboard slash magnetic wall. I've hung up all of our magnets from our travels on this side and people can sign this wall. This area was not being used at all and now I have plenty of storage down there. And this idea actually came from the house when we first moved in. There was a huge chalkboard wall in the dining room and I was sick of seeing it there, so we covered it up, but now we've located it over here and I think it looks even better. Okay, making my way into the bathroom. This is our second full bath. I actually have never used the bathroom in here and I probably never will. For this bathroom, we used a lot of what we already had. So for example, this vanity is the old one. All I did was switch out the faucet, the mirror, and the lights. We added this beautiful wallpaper as well as some floating shelves, which really elevates the space. And I think that it just goes to show that you don't need a big budget to make a big impact. In that video, I also asked you guys if I should paint the window trim black, and you guys all said yes, so that is what I did, and I think it looks amazing. I also have some DIY artwork that I made here from clearance frames from HomeGoods. The shower is also the same old shower that was here before, and I got a few comments about why I didn't clean this grout. Hate to break it to you guys, but this is actually the design of the tile. It just makes it look really old and distressed. I don't know why that design choice was made, but I just kept it as it is, and honestly, with everything that we did in here, it looks like a completely different bathroom. Now I'm gonna take you into the last room of the house, which is a really special room because this is actually something that we've dreamed about doing for years, and this past year we actually made it happen. So welcome to the Studio Calm headquarters. This is our small business where I create artwork and share prints with you guys. I still can't believe that we made this happen this year and you guys showed me so much support on this small business and I'm so grateful for that. We've learned so much from launching this business and we're so excited to bring more collections out to you guys, so stay tuned for future collections. So this is where we fulfill all the orders and it's actually Brian's dream job to pack orders all day, so thank you guys for supporting that dream of his. We have our workstations on this side as well as tons of storage for all of our products and shipping supplies. We just feel so lucky that we have a space to run our small business out of, so thank you guys for supporting this dream of ours. And you might notice that it's looking a little bit empty in here, and that brings me to the big announcement that I am so excited to tell you guys about. Our big news is that we are moving, and I bet you a lot of you guys could tell from the little hints that I was giving throughout this tour. I can't believe that I'm finally telling you guys this because it's been a secret that we've been keeping for so long now. Although it might not look like it, we are actually in the process of moving right now. The house is in escrow and we are closing super soon, so I'm going to go over those details in future videos. We had to stage the house and we also got rid of any personalization around the house, so the Studio Calm sign is no longer behind me. So that has been happening behind the scenes and we are so close to closing. I know the house is going to be so loved by the next owners and I'm just overjoyed by the fact that we were able to transform this house in the time that we've lived here. It was a labor of love transforming this house and I'm so glad that I was able to document the whole thing with you guys. And now that I'm saying this out loud and that you guys know, it just feels that much more real that I'm not going to be making videos in here anymore. It's so bittersweet doing this final house tour because we're closing this chapter, but we are going to be opening a new one. And I hope you're ready for this next adventure because things are going to be changing around here and there's going to be so many more videos and a lot more makeovers, of course. I'll be updating you guys on where we're moving and why in the next video. So I won't tell you just yet, but leave all your best guesses in the comments. And if you guys have any questions, I will be sure to answer them in my next video. And if you're really curious on where we're going, make sure to keep up with me over on Instagram. I will be sharing a lot more updates over there as the days and the weeks go by. It is now crunch time to move out of this house, so I'm very stressed, but I'm also super excited. Thank you guys for watching and supporting and following along this whole journey. You guys have really watched me grow in this house, and now it's time to move on to the next chapter. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay inspired, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!